All right, everybody, here we are. We're on day 2 of Where to Find Paying Clients in Any Economy. Super, super glad to have you guys here. Welcome, Diane and Melissa. We've got Jen coming in here. If you guys are in the Facebook group, go ahead and check your email and grab the Zoom link so you can get your questions answered. No problem, Diane. No problem at all. If you have any questions, Diane, if you just want to come off mute and you can ask, but you don't have to have your camera on if you don't want to. No problem. So again, if you're in the Facebook group, come on over, join us inside the Zoom room because you are going to be getting some live coaching, particular or customized specifically for you and whatever type of coach you are or healer or holistic practitioner. So yesterday we talked all about where to find our paying clients. We talked about who our ideal client was specifically, and we really had to know who, because if we don't know who, we don't know where, right? So we focused on who she was. Yesterday, we focused on what she's actually looking for. So what is the problem she's experiencing? What is the result she wants to have, right? That's important because we're going to use that information today to determine what type of high converting, high value freebie we are going to offer to help her raise her hand so that she can self-identify. So again, I am all about attracting clients, not chasing clients. And I know that you guys here feel the same way. Chasing clients is actually not in alignment with being an abundant CEO or business owner, and you really don't need to attract or don't need to chase. What we want to do is we want to use what we call pull marketing materials. Pull marketing is that we are going to speak the language of the client that we want to most support, so that, again, she can self-identify that she is in our world. And we're going to talk more about that today. Okay. So when she self-identifies, she is actually letting us know that she's interested. She's interested in either the high value freebie, or she's interested in learning more, or she's just saying, yeah, I fit this representation of this client that you just offered a freebie for. So let me go ahead and share my screen. By the way, if you're in the Facebook group and you can't join me live, please make sure that you tag me if you have any questions. And the way that you do that is you just write type at the at symbol, and then start typing my name. My name will pop up in blue. That way I'll get notifications, okay? And that way I will know to come back and that you've got a specific question. Awesome. All right, let me share my screen. And there we go. Cool. All right. Where to find paying clients in any economy. So quick recap, we identified where we were on the pathway, just starting out, have a few clients, lots of clients, but it's not consistent, and totally feel so good about knowing my ideal client. We talked about who your ideal client was. And so the homework, for lack of a better term, is who's your ideal client? So answering these questions is going to help you determine who exactly is this person? Who are you helping? We also talked about, once we know who she is, where to find her, right? And then we also talked about what they want. And now we're going to dive into 21 different types of freebies that are actually effective in attracting clients into your ecosystem. Okay. Now, your freebies are going to be something that we want to use all the time. Okay. We should be doing something every single day to bring people into our ecosystem. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to share a freebie every day. What that means, though, is that we want to make sure that we are creating something that is going to be helping us determine who our ideal client might be. And we start with the freebie. So a freebie is, and again, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of different ideas that we know convert really, really well. Okay. So, the 3-part video mini course would be something that you could put together. And when we talk about a mini course, we're talking about, a 10-minute video. We're not talking about an hour-long video. Okay, we're talking about bite-sized pieces that your person is actually going to consume. Because if she doesn't consume it, she's not actually going to connect with you, and she's not going to be able to go up the ladder of beliefs that we talked about last week of, is this solution possible for me right now and with your help, right? So the 2 main questions that we want to be able to help our person answer is, how is this going to help me? And is this the person that I want to work with? How is this? So any type of freebie that we have, even if we think it's a cool idea, it has to be something that they actually want and they see value in. That's why we call it high value, because they're saying, this is going to serve me, right? So something to think about is that everybody is listening to the same radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me? When somebody sees a Facebook post, they're thinking, how is this going to support me? If someone sees a freebie or an ad, they're thinking, how is this going to change my life? How is this going to affect me? How is this for me, right? We all do that. It's part of human psychology, right? It's part of discerning whether something is important for us to pay attention to, right? So our freebie has to be something that our ideal client wants. So if we want to make a mini course, you would think about, what would be one thing, one step that your ideal client might start with, and how can you speak to that in like these small 10-minute segments, right? So Jen, for you, because I know you work in the relationship realm, you could do 10 little segments as part of, a freebie of how to, this is for my women who want to find their, and we would want to call their match something that they would want, right? Using their words, their best relationship, or gosh, my mind is totally blanking because I don't typically work in the relationship realm, but we want to come up with something that we know if our ideal client wants a certain relationship, we would want to call it that, right? So, who are my women who want my free mini course on how to attract a relationship that is soul fulfilling and not soul sucking? Totally making that up on the fly. Okay. So if your person says me, great. She just self-identified that she is looking for relationships, right? And so that is why we also want to title any type of freebie that we are putting out there in our clients' words based on results. Okay. So 3-part mini course is one way. A recording download. So for example, if you've done a Facebook Live, if you have a group on your a business page or your personal profile and you've done a Facebook Live around something, you could do a recording download, right? So that's another option, which is something that I really like because it's a reusable resource. And if you do a recording, my suggestion is that you would link it with a handout of some kind, right? So if you were doing a recording, and we can just say this one, where to find paying clients in any economy. This is, we're going to record it. We are recording it, right? And so if I go out and I say, hey, in my Facebook group, who wants the recording for day 2? They're going to have access to the recording in the Facebook group, and then we're going to give them this workbook, right? So you want something to go with it. You could call it show notes or something so that they can follow along. And that's important because we want them to know that, for example, if whoever, if you guys print out this workbook and you decide to come back to it, my name's on it, right? So it's reusable. It's keeping me front of mind for you. And that's what we want to do for our clients. We want whatever type of freebie that we put together to be something that they can have front of mind, either keep on their desk or tape to their wall or listen to over and over again. So, meditations are another one, right? So those of you in the, the energy working industry, you could even do a YouTube or, meditations or recordings that way. Webinar slides are also really, really fun. So if you like making webinar slides, I personally don't, I'm a workbook girl, but if you like making webinar slides, you can say, hey, who wants the slides and the recording for my how to, attract your soulmate relationship, right? How to stop living like this and start living like this, right? So you could even share webinar slides. Now, when we are sharing these freebies, it is critically important that you are creating what we call is a landing page or a registration page. And the reason why is because we don't want to give away a freebie without an exchange, a name and an email address, because that is part of your ecosystem. Your email list is part of your ecosystem. And if we are just giving out freebies and we don't know who actually has them, then we can't nurture that relationship. Okay, so for anything that we're talking about with freebies, we're going to want to create a landing page. It's also called an opt-in. It's also called a registration page. And I think I mentioned this yesterday, but ConvertKit is the one that I recommend. There's a lot of them out there. There's MailChimp, there's MailerLite, there's Mad Mimi, there's Flowdesk, there's like there's a lot of email marketing system. But we do want to make sure that we are having a way that somebody could click on the link, give us their name and email, and then the freebie would be automatically delivered. Okay, and that's really good because, for example, if you decided, to share something on Facebook, the link stays there, right? So somebody might, click the link and download your freebie when you're sleeping or on the weekend or whatever. So we want it to be a place that we make sure that it's easy to deliver. Okay, a workbook. So here's the workbook, right? Same way as slides. And it really helps also to sweeten any type of what we call like webinar signups or training signups or workshop signups, right? Because we are visual people, right? And so it is going to, when someone has an action guide to take away with them, like this one, you guys now have this, right? You don't have to furiously take notes, although I know you're also going to take notes because not everything is here, but this is value, right? This is value. So it is going to be high value. A free journal. So some of you might be doing journaling, right? So a free journal is also something, we all love journals, planners. That's something that, I created last year, was a 2024 actually calendar and planner. And it was easy to create inside of Canva, but that was a freebie. Like, are you getting ready to plan your business for 2024? Here's the planner. Who wants my 2024 planner? Right? So again, it was a freebie that was created for my ideal client, right? My ideal client who is running a business needs to start planning their business. And so that was a free journal or free planner. Tip sheets are also great, but we want the tip sheets to be something that, again, is really high value, not just, these random tips that they could Google. We want a tip sheet to be something that is actually going to help them move the needle forward in whatever way that you are actually supporting them, right? So, for example, Jen, you could have, here's a tip sheet, these are some things that you want to look for, or these are the red flags you want to look for, or these are that, right? So that you could have some specific tips, to determine whether this is going to be a supportive or a not supportive thing. Everybody's popping in here a little late, no problem. So tip sheets are really great. And again, tip sheets we want them to be printable, right? Why? Because when people print them out, they're going to reuse them, right? And they're going to have you top of mind. Infographics. So infographics are also really fun and they're really, really valuable. So for example, if you're in the health coaching realm and you want to create an infographic for how to create a balanced plate, infographic, right? If you want to create, these are the 5 steps too, you could create an infographic, right? And so it's colorful. You can design it easily inside of Canva. It's something that people can print out and keep as a handy reference. So that's another way that you could create a freebie. A resource list, right? So do you have resources that somebody would actually want? Right. So if I decided to put together, as a matter of fact, I was just on a call with one of my amazing one-on-one clients, and she's like, can you, share with me what's the tech that you use? What's the what I use for my ring light? What do I use for a webcam? What do I use? Like, what do I use for email? Like, that would be a resource list, right? Number 9, you could do a 5 or 7 day mini course that is delivered via email. This is actually a really, really fun one. Okay, so you could do, it would be free. They would sign up for it. And then every day for 5 or 7 days, you would give them a piece of information and an action step. Okay, so that's a really fun one. You could do a tip of the day, right? And this would also be an email. They would sign up and maybe they got, if you are an energy worker, your energy tip for the day. If you are in creating mindset, your mindset tip of the day. Just like a quote of the day, right? That's another one, right? This is a quote of the day to help you step into reminders for the empowered person that you are. Cheat sheets. Cheat sheets give people instruction on how to actually get a task done. Okay, so instead of having to read an entire ebook, they get a cheat sheet, right? So that's really, really important. We actually create cheat sheets for our clients inside of Activate when they're setting up an event. This is your cheat sheet for your event, right? So you can download a cheat sheet so that you can say, okay, do I have everything that I need here? If you're a book writer, thought leader, and you've got a book out, you could give somebody a sample chapter, right? So they could download 1 to 3 chapters as your sign up incentive. You could also, along with your chapter, you could do like a live with you where you could give people the chapter and then you could actually answer questions about your chapter if you wanted for free. That's a great way to nurture, right? I want you to remember that in our market, people want an experience. Okay, they want to connect, they want to feel seen, they want to feel heard, they want an experience. Okay, so the highest converting freebies are ones that are going to allow them to create a win and also create an experience. Meditations, great. I'll download a meditation. Like I'm like, oh, you're going to give me a free meditation? Sure. Like if it's about something that I'm interested in, right? So free meditations, these can be MP3 downloads. They could also be on YouTube, right? So you can do both, either or. Music downloads is another one. So for example, if you want to create, music, say you are working with somebody who's very stressed out, you could put together a music compilation of music that would allow them to, maybe it's with binaural beats, maybe it's with calming and relaxing music that they can turn on anytime they need. One of the things that I want you guys to notice here is that what you're doing inside of your freebies, in addition to giving value, is you are creating organization for your ideal client. When you give them a music download, you've done the labor, you've done the work of putting it together for them, right? So it's going to help them save time, right? So done for you materials, free graphics, templates, forms, those are also really, really great because it allows the person to get value because they don't have to create it themselves, right? So people will invest in anything that collapses the timeline for them, right? They don't have to Google it. They don't have to read it. They don't have to put it all together. They don't have to organize all the resources. It's done for them. They will invest in anything that is going to help them in their relationships, anything that is going to help them make more money or be more productive in their life or their business, and anything that's going to help them feel more purposeful. Okay, so those are the biggies. Those are the biggies. Contest. So contests are really fun too. So I love these. These are actually fun. I actually incorporate those a couple times a year. Where I actually create a little bingo card. It's called Abundance Bingo. And people will, when they get bingo, they take a shot of their bingo card, they send it to me, and I pick a winner. And the winner will typically get, you can either do a gift card, you could do a free membership, you could do, I do programs, so I will give away a done for you program. And those are really, really fun because it allows you, again, to gamify things, right? It's more fun. So that is another way. Who are my, women that would like to win, and you could even give away a session with you if you wanted. Like who wants to win, a 90-minute session with me? You could do a contest and create it that way. You could do access to an app. So one of my clients actually is creating her own app and has it created. And so, for example, you could give somebody a trial period, 7 days, 14 days to an app if you have that. And then lastly, number 21 is if you have a membership or if you have a place where you are keeping some of your files, you could give people access to your membership or archives that are in there. Okay. So once you start working with clients, once you start building your business, once you start doing Facebook Lives, you are going to want to save those recordings so that you can think of it like creating a library, and you are giving people access for a certain number of time or for a certain number of people or a certain price for a very limited time. Okay, so I'm going to stop for just a minute, stop the share, and invite you guys to think about one of those freebies, which one, and we want to pick the one that is going to be the easiest lift. Not something that's going to take weeks, but something that we really could create in like 2 hours. Like, what would be something that would be so simple for you to create? Now, I'm not seeing the landing page and all of that is going to not take a little bit longer, but the freebie itself, we really want to make it simple. We don't want to overcomplicate it. We don't want to overthink it. We don't want to spend hours doing it unless you are, really, really want to do a video series or something like that. So what is popping up for you guys, and what questions do you have around creating a freebie that would work for you and your ideal client? Any questions? When you did the exercise last night, what is it that you came up with that they wanted? So let's think about it from there. So what is it that they want? What were they saying that they wanted? And then how could we create something that would be free for that? Yeah. So breath work activation. Okay, great. And Jen, when you get a chance, will you just let me know kind of what is the result that they get from the breathwork activation? So I'm assuming it's a 12-minute session that take like meditation, something that takes them through the breathwork piece.
Yeah, it's just a little recording so that they could do it daily if they wanted to, but it activates the nervous system, gets them into trance, and
Oh, great.
makes them feel like really, really relaxed afterwards.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That's so good. Yeah. So, how to calm the nervous system in 12 minutes or less, right? So we do want to put like a title that it is that they want. I know, right? And send it to me. I would love to take a look at it. I'm happy to like kind of give you some feedback on it, but we would want to call it, something that they actually want, right? So, breath work to calm your nervous system in 12 minutes or less. Breathwork activation sounds great, but they probably are not really clear on what is the result that they're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're calming their nervous system, they're feeling relaxed, they're going into trance, like use that. Like that is going to be like people that want to use breath work, like they're going to be like, oh, hell yeah, that's me. Right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the bingo board. Yeah. Breathwork bingo. So you could do breathwork bingo maybe when you're doing one of your summits, Jen. Right. So, you could say, hey guys, when you register for the summit, you're going to get a bingo board. And, if you decide to take people through a certain number of days, give them different activities to do based on what it is that you're teaching. When they do them and check them off, then they can take a picture and send it to you. And maybe they get to win a free breathwork session with you. Yeah. Cool. But the summit would be the actual freebie. The bingo would just be something that we're including in there to kind of gamify it. Yeah. Jen or Diane or Ellen or Melissa, what are you guys thinking about for a freebie?
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
This has always been very hard for me because I have a really hard time chunking it down to just one small little thing. Because I know she wants to know why this is happening, but I can't tell her that without going through a lot of information first. So I've created lots of freebies and they don't usually do too well, not surprisingly. But I just had an idea. So I want to run it by you and see what you think about that.
Yeah, and I'd love to also hear what are your other freebies, because we might be able to tweak those to make them high converting for you too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for this one, I'm thinking, because one of the biggest things that I like to get people to understand is that you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to do something different. Like right now you're in this stagnant energy cycle and you're getting the same thing over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
but without diving into the beliefs and, you know, the healing. What can I give them that's more on the surface level that might at least give them maybe a quick win or a quick energy
Mm-hmm.
kind of shake up.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like either a weekly challenge, like every day, challenge them to do one of these 5 things,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you know, basically just getting out of your comfort zone. You could pick a teeny tiny thing, or you can pick a big thing.
Yes. Oh, I love this idea, Jen. I really like this a lot. You could call it, get out of your comfort zone challenge, and you pick, one thing that you typically wouldn't do. And here's some, you can totally give them choices, but just choices. They can also pick something. So for example, it could be, pick one thing that you typically, wouldn't do. Like maybe it's brushing your teeth with your left hand. I don't know. I'm just, making something up. Typically but maybe it's going outside and grounding, for 10 minutes. Maybe it is, trying something different or something that you've been putting off, like you're going to actually do the thing today. So yeah, I think I love that idea. And since you know that it's actually going to, when they do the small thing, that means they're going to get the 5 days or 7 days, every single day is going to be a win. So I love that idea. I think that's great, especially for people who know that they're stuck in their comfort zone and they're stuck in this pattern of same thing over and over again. That would be a great first step. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And then from there, from your freebie, you could then, everybody who joined you for the challenge, you could then invite them into a workshop where you do dive into the beliefs, right? So it could be like a 3-day or a 5-day workshop, like you guys are seeing me do, right? And then you could go deeper into the beliefs. And then, at the end or whenever you open up, an offer, you would, say, if you want to hop on a call with me, again, you would decide what the offer is. If it's in a group program, you would offer that. If it's just to hop on a call to see how you can serve them, you could do that too.
Yeah, I just did that with the joint venture project that I did. You know, I got about close to 80 people sign up for that. And then I gave them the opportunity to sign up for my workshop, which is coming up in like a week and a half. So yeah.
And how did that go?
I didn't get as many conversions into the workshop as I had hoped. I'm thinking about maybe running ads for it this time. I've done that for a previous workshop, and it worked really well with getting people on my list, but not so much at conversion, getting them to show up.
Yeah. Unless you are making consistent 10 to 20K months, I don't recommend it. And again, because getting people to your list is one thing, but getting qualified right clients to your list is something completely different. So, and Jen, I would love to just have a conversation with you and just kind of give you some tips, since you do have a workshop coming up, to make sure that you've got some specific things in place that I know is going to make it more high converting for you. So, we can schedule that, whenever you want to. But the important thing to think about is whenever anybody is running a workshop, for those of you that like to run summits or workshops, the high value freebie needs to be in alignment and congruent with whatever you're going to teach. Okay, so we want to make sure that one will lead to the other, right? That whatever the freebie is, that you are going to be talking about beliefs and stepping out of your comfort zone or whatever it is, right? If that's the freebie that you use, okay? And then we want to make sure that we are sharing it in the right places. And we, again, whenever we're doing events like this, we really do need to make sure that we give ourselves a runway. So there are some specific things that need to happen before we actually run the event. That's one of the big changes, by the way, in 2024 that you guys might not know. For those of you that run summits or workshops, back in the day, the attractor was just come to my workshop, right? And you got hundreds of people coming to your workshop. That's not happening anymore, okay? So there needs to be actually 2 steps before that, right? So one step, and if we think about this, is actually what I teach inside of Activate, is there's actually a 6-week runway, where the first 2 weeks is making sure that you're visible and you're present and you're sharing value without an ask. And then the second 2 weeks is sharing your freebie, right? That is valuable and relevant and congruent to what it is that you're going to teach. right? Now, when you're sharing your freebie, there has to be some nurturing with the people that are downloading the freebie. Okay, we can't just like give it to them and disappear. And so that's going to be important to make sure that if you are on Facebook, or if you have a Facebook group, we want to make sure that they're being invited into the Facebook group so that we can welcome them and so that we can connect with them and so that we can give them a place to land, right? And then the people that download the freebie and everybody else on our list, then we start promoting the event. Okay. But if we start promoting the event too far out, then people aren't going to show up even to the event. Right. So it's important that we kind of have a time frame, because it's kind of upside down, where the event is the last piece, where before it used to be the first piece. Right. So that's just, again, for those of you that like running events or like running summits, that's what we see is one of the biggest changes in the market right now, is how to get people there. Yeah. And it didn't used to be that way. It used to be really easy to fill a webinar, or really easy to just guide people to a webinar. But if we don't have consistent income coming into our business, then we really don't want to be spending it on ads yet, unless we are absolutely 100% sure that that ad is going to be going to the right people, and you're actually going to be getting qualified clients coming in from that, because it does have to convert. The other problem with ads that you guys may or may not know, and I'm not dissing ads, because at where I am in my business, I do run ads as well. You guys might see some of them that are popping up, but it takes a while for ads to actually learn who it should be going to. So just doing an ad for a week is not going to work. It has to learn. So it takes months of time and money before the ad actually starts learning and going to the right person. So even if you know your ideal client, and I got a firsthand view of that last week. We actually were running an ad to a freebie, and there was some wonky thing that happened on Facebook, and the ad wasn't being shown. And so we had to open up a backup ad account, which did not have all of the information. And there's a tracking pixel inside all of the ads, right? Didn't have that. It was brand new. So it was still learning. So we got like maybe 2, right? So, and we spent like over $1,000. So that is why I'm saying, please, just like, let's do this organically first until we have, consistent income coming in. And then when we've got enough money to put towards the ads, to allow it the time to actually learn and get those pixels and everything, and make sure you have a good ads person that knows what they're doing. So you need to have the money to invest in the ads person as well. So when you decide that you want to do ads, you want to factor that you are going to be looking at least $2,000 to $2,500 a month to spend on that in order to make it effective. But I love your idea, Jen, and I totally went down a rabbit hole with that. But just giving you real life, what does it look like behind the scenes? That's what happens. Yeah. So we've got Jen. Melissa, what about you?
Mute. There we go. I know how to use Zoom. I don't know what my problem is today. I made 5 simple steps to feel joy again. Things you can do in under 20 minutes.
I love it. Perfect. I love that. That's fantastic, because you know that your woman is struggling. She's like, I just can't live like this anymore. I want more joy. Fantastic. Right. Good. I love it. Fantastic. Yeah. And you could even do, a joy tracker, how to, track your joy, or, a checklist, your joy checklist, making sure that they take one action every day. You could do a joy challenge. That would be fun too. Every day they're going to do one simple thing that brings them joy.
That would be good inside of a group though.
You could, or it could just be your email. Yeah.
Got it.
Either way.
Okay.
Yeah, there's multiple ways that this could go. It could be, just on email, where you're inviting people to join your joy challenge, or it could be in a Facebook group, and you are, opening up your Facebook group, and to kick it off, you're like, we're going to do a joy challenge. Everybody come in. Which would also help you build and grow your Facebook group. Right. I love it. Woo! So exciting. Amazing. Diane, do you have any questions, or do you want to pop in the chat? Or Ellen, do you have any questions about creating a high value, high converting freebie? Would you like any support around it? And you can just pop in the chat yes or no. And if it's a no, we'll just continue. Okay. So a couple things to just keep mindful is that our high value, high converting freebie needs to be something that our ideal client actually wants and sees as valuable and sees as solving a problem for them. It needs to be something that is going to keep you front of mind. It needs to be simple and easy to deliver and simple and easy for them to download, right? If it's a checklist, we really want to keep it to, 1 to 3 pages. We don't want them to print out 20, pages of something if they don't have to, right? So again, for our freebies. If it's a meditation, you can house that on multiple platforms where they can just click the link. We want to make it easy and simple. We want to make it something that they can return to over and over again. And that is what is going to make it, again, high converting means that the conversion rate is out of the number of people that see it. What's the percentage that actually sign up for it? And what is that percentage? We want it to be at 50% or higher. 50% or higher. Awesome. All right. Any other questions that might have popped up in the meantime around a high converting, high value freebie? All right, so now let's take a look at where we're going to share it. Okay, so where to find paying clients in any economy. Now we need to, these are different ways that you can actually share your freebie. Okay, so we talked already about an online workshop or a masterclass, which could also be like a challenge, right? You could do an in-person talk. And your in-person talk then, if you're going to do an in-person talk, my suggestion is that you would create a QR code that leads to the landing page. And that way people could just pop their phone out, scan the QR code, they would put their name and email address in, and they would get whatever handout, PDF, whatever it is that you want to send to them. Okay. You could post on Facebook. And so if you're going to post on Facebook, one of the best ways is what we call using one-word marketing and saying on the big colorful black background, who are my women who would like to add more joy to their life. Comment joy in the comments. That's one-word marketing. They would comment joy, one word, pop it in the comments, and then anybody who raises their hand and says, yeah, I want more joy, they've self-identified as your ideal client. Now you can reach out to them and say, hey, Chris, thank you so much for commenting that you want more joy. I have a free how to add more joy to your day, 5 steps to add more joy. Can I share the link with you? And of course, she already raised her hand, so she's going to say yes. And then you can share that with her in either the DMs, or you could share it directly inside of the comments. Okay, I prefer to share it in the DMs because Facebook wants to keep people on Facebook. So the other thing is that when you are sharing, when they comment joy, Melissa, what you would want to do, since we're using this as an example, is you would want to heart their comment when they said joy, and then reply back to them. Make sure their name is tagged. Hey, Chris, check your DMs. I just sent it your way in the DMs. Then you go in the DMs, and then you can say, here you go. And then they can click on the link and download it. Okay. So the reason why we do it that way is because it actually works with the Facebook algorithm. The more people that comment, the more Facebook will show it to people. Instead of just popping a link in the comments, nobody's going to comment, which means that it's not going to be shown to as many people. So one-word marketing is going to be much more effective. Okay, that is why when I'm sharing about the freebies or any type of replay, I'm like, who wants the replay for, right? Comment replay below, right? So you could share a freebie on your Facebook page. So you could do a freebie, do a Facebook group swap. Those are really, really fun. So again, when we do a Facebook group swap, what that is it's leveraging somebody's audience. So think about another coach or somebody who has a Facebook group, and you could go into their group and do a training and then offer your freebie, and then you would invite them to come into your group and do a training, and you both grow each other's audiences because you both are sharing the freebie. That is actually a way that you can add hundreds of people overnight when you do a freebie swap. You want to do a group swap. So that's another way where you could just share, I'm sorry, we just did that, share freebie on your bio on Facebook or on your Facebook page. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know, but there are actually 3 different types of pages on Facebook. You've got your profile page, you've got a business page, and then there's a group page. Okay, so you could share on all 3 of those pages if you have 3 of them, right? You want to make sure that your freebie is also in the bio of your Facebook. So we want to optimize your Facebook profile. And we also want to optimize, if you have a Facebook group, optimize the about section inside of your Facebook group. Welcome to, Get More Joy in Your Life. I'm so excited you guys are here. And the about, this is a group for women who just can't take it anymore, don't want to live this way anymore, want to have a more fulfilling and joyful life. Click here to download your 5 steps to add more joy to your life in 20 minutes or less. So that goes in the about section of your group. Okay, and that way it stays there all the time. You can also use that same message to welcome new members inside of your Facebook group. And you can actually automate this. So Facebook loves Facebook groups. So it wants you to have as many members into your Facebook group as possible, and it's going to help you do that. Okay, so whenever somebody joins, you can actually set an automation to welcome all of the members with that message, and they will be tagged in that post by Facebook. So Facebook will tag all the new members, they'll see that message, they'll see the link, they can download that, right? So that's another way. And you can also add it again on your personal page in either your bio, or if you look to on your personal page with the description, and you can add your freebie there, add your freebie link there. If you use Instagram, you can add your freebie to the Instagram handle. So you can create what we call as a link tree account. And your link tree is just a little link. And when people click on that link, it will go to a freebie, or it will go to a class, or it'll go to a workshop, right? So you can put multiple things on one page, and you can also share that inside of Facebook as well. So it's just a link that gets created. You can change your profile banner. So we all have our profiles. I want you to think of that as like prime real estate. It is something that people look at whenever they're on your page or respond to you or see you. So think of it like a billboard. What do you have up there? Do you have join my Facebook group? Do you have download my freebie? Do you have whatever? So we want to make sure that those pictures are actually inviting people to know what it is that you do, and either join your or direct them in some way. And one of the ways that you can do that is to make a banner that is sharing your freebie. Okay. You can invite people to the workshop, right? So whenever we're inviting people to a workshop, that is going to allow you to get their name and their email address. Come on, a challenge. I love the Joy Challenge. I think that would be so much fun, by the way, Melissa. I think that would be so fun. You can collaborate with others who serve your client in a different way. So if you're doing an in-person talk, or if you're doing an online event, or if you're doing a summit, and sometimes there's list builds as well. I don't even think I have that on here, but list builds are really, really popular. And what that might look like is one person decides on putting together a bundle. And so I know I was part of one. It was one of my friends called Kylie's birthday bash, and she got 200 women together and put together a bundle, and everybody provided a freebie as being in the bundle, and it was a specific theme, right? So the theme was around growing business. So everybody there got to share a freebie, and then everybody, all 200 or 20 or however many, share it too. So now you're getting in front of other people's audiences. So that's another really great way. And list builds can be free. Some people charge for list builds, some people don't. Some people, if you want to be promoted by them on a specific front page. You might have to pay for that, but it's a really, really easy way to do that. And there are themed list builds everywhere. Jen, I think that would be really, really great for you. I think that would really work well for you. You can be on a guest on a summit. Summits are fun. Summits are fun to be on. And another reason why summits are good is because of the same thing as a list build, right? Everybody who's on the summit shares a freebie and everybody promotes it to their list multiple times. So you're getting in front of however many people are on the summit's audiences. Okay. You can write an article for a magazine or a blog post. It could be your blog post. It could be somebody else's blog post. It doesn't really matter. But in the article or in the magazine, you're going to have a link to download your free guide for more joy. All right. I've written for multiple magazines. I've also been featured inside of Forbes.com on their online. And so mine actually takes them to either the business basics checklist for 10 to 30K months, or it takes them someplace where they can give me their name and email, and then they're now in my ecosystem. Okay. The other reason why I want you to make sure that you're using an email system that actually allows you to create a landing page is because your email system will keep track for you of all of the names that downloaded your freebie. So you can go into the report section and say, all right, who are the people? What are the names? And then you can actually find them either on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram and just connect with them and say hi and thank them for downloading your freebie. So now you're actually in dialogue, and now we're in the nurture process. Okay. So the way that you create consistent 10 to 30K months in your business is by attracting, nurturing, inviting. And this is the first piece of how are we attracting the right client into our ecosystem. You could do a live training, right? So one of the things that I love to do is do live trainings every single Monday inside my Facebook group. And so I could promote that on Facebook, or I could send an email out to my email list and say, hey, I'm going to go live and talk about, the changes that you need to know that are happening in 2024 in order to grow your business. And I would do a Facebook Live for that, and people would, either come into my Facebook group, and then if they wanted the handout that I shared with that, they would get that via a landing page. So I just want you guys to see how many different ways there are to actually attract your ideal client into your ecosystem. Okay, there are a ton of ways to attract it. There is no limit to attracting people into your ecosystem. Okay, so it is, and this is something that we need to do all the time on repeat. Okay, so even if you're not sending, an email out, you could be writing an article, 1 week. You could be being on a podcast, which is another way. You could do a live inside your Facebook group. We want to be doing something on repeat in multiple ways. You could share it on your story, by the way. So Facebook actually has 5 different ways that you can share things. You can create a reel and actually invite people to click the freebie. You can create your story, which when they click on that, or you can say, who wants the freebie for in your story, and they comment, and you can send it to them. You can put it on your personal page. You can put it on your business page. You can put it on your Facebook group. And then you can also share it in other people's Facebook groups. Okay, so the 2 places that we know people show up regularly on social media over and above any others, over TikTok, over Instagram, over Pinterest, is YouTube and Facebook. Those are at the very, very top of the list where people are hanging out. So if you are just starting your business, my suggestion is email and Facebook group specifically. Okay, those are going to be one way. Email is actually off social media. Facebook is social media. Then as you start bringing people into your ecosystem, if you feel comfortable doing video, then you could, take a look at YouTube. Okay, where you could even house your whole playlist of the lives that you do, right? You could turn that into a podcast on YouTube. Like there's so many great ways. And then on YouTube, you would share the video, and then in the description, you would share the link for them to download the freebie, the show notes, the handout, or whatever, right? If you do we did the Facebook group, live show, signature email. So in your email, if you guys ever get an email from me personally, inside of my signature at the bottom that automatically goes out is download your free guide, Business Basics Checklist for 10 to 30K months. And the link is there in my email signature. Okay, so that's another way to get it in front of people. You could also share the link to your Facebook group in the email signature. So I actually do both. I say, come join us in the Facebook group and also download your guide. Facebook used to allow us to create a featured photo that directs people to your freebie. So if you look on your personal profile, there are featured photos. I think there's like 3 featured photos. You can actually make a picture, a PNG inside of Canva of the cover page of your freebie and post it there. And when people click on that, it's going to take them to, the link and the caption to the photo. And in the caption of the photo is where you put your link. Okay, so it's a really cool ninja tip. Same thing with your banner, right? If you are sharing your banner and it's the picture and it says download your free guide to, when someone clicks on that photo, even if you put like a button there, like a faux button, it's not really a working link. It's just that if they click anywhere on that photo, it will open up the photo to the caption. So you edit the caption and you put the link here, download your guide here, here's the link. Okay. Where are we? Featured photo, Linktree, we talked about that. And again, Linktree is great because you can use it in multiple places and it can direct people to a freebie, free events, masterclass, challenges, workshops, a whole bunch of stuff. You could also ask a local network if you can give a talk, right? So if there is a women's group that is going to serve your ideal client, you could go give a talk and then with the QR code, share the freebie. You could speak on somebody else's live, stage live. So if there is a conference, they sometimes have breakout rooms and they have guest speakers, right? Jen, I really think that, I don't know if you're comfortable, in doing video or being on stage, but women's empowerment conferences, like this would be such a really great breakout session for people to go to, because, this is something, that women struggle with. Right. And so that would be something where you could be one of the guest speakers and then, give the talk. If it's live, if they're doing it virtually, it would be a summit, right? So that people can see you, hear you, have an experience of you, and then download your freebie. Okay. So I gave you a lot of ideas here. These are just ideas. Some you're going to resonate with, some you're going to be, hell no, not doing that. That's okay. Okay, these are ideas. What I want you to do is I want you to think of 3 places that once you create your freebie, you are going to share it. 3 places that you are going to share it once you create your freebie. If you already have a freebie, then I want you to share it in 3 places this week. Okay. So I'm going to stop the share now, and I want to just open it up for any coaching questions. Do you have any questions around your freebie, around where to share it, around where you would like to promote it? Anything? Any questions around this? No. So I would love, yeah, go ahead, Jen.
Just thinking on that idea of, getting invited to conferences. I've been turned down for a couple because I don't actually make enough money. I'm not like really a business owner at this point. I'm kind of in that in between. So, how do you get invited to those? Do you just have to meet people?
Okay, yeah. So conferences, again, you're probably not going to want to be in one that are like actual business conferences. There are lots of conferences that that don't ask you for how much you make. I've been invited to conferences and I've applied to conferences and I've never been asked how much money I make. So I don't know. That's really interesting that whatever conference you've reached out for, they're asking you how much money. I've never been asked that.
Well, summits do the same thing. I mean, not money necessarily, but subscribers. And I'm in no man's land, so I don't.
Well, some do and some don't. Okay, so right now, the two things are, if you want to do a conference, I want you, instead of looking at, they're asking me how much money, there are lots of conferences that won't. And there's also lots of summits that are there for, people to give them visibility. I can tell you, Women Thrive is a Facebook group. I think their Facebook group, they've got Women Thrive Media, and they also have Women in Business Facebook group. And they actually support women to be on their summits, that it doesn't matter how many emails, doesn't how much money you make, they just want to help you get your voice out there. Okay. So there are a lot of them out there. One thing that I think is going to help you, Jen, let me look this up real quick, is you want to have, for those of you that are going to be doing any type of speaking, you want to have a one sheet. And so that is going to be really important. And I'll pull up mine just so that you can see it.
I have one for podcasts.
Okay. So happy to take a look at it if you want my eyeballs on it. It is important. There are some specific things that we want to have on our one sheet for sure. So for those of you that want to do more talks or summits or conferences, this is an example of a one sheet. Okay. So it's got your picture. It's got about you. It's got what's your mission. It's got speaking topics. And then it has a testimonial from somebody. Okay. And then it has the way that people can get in touch with you. Okay. So you can provide a speaker sheet. And again, when somebody sees a speaker sheet, they are going to be like, amazing. Yeah. Like this person's professional. They're professional enough to put actually a speaker sheet together. Okay. Melissa, you have access to that inside of Activate Abundance, and there's a whole Canva template. So you can use that as well. Yeah. So I would research, and for conferences, you do need to start, now looking for 2025, right? So, and then you can also just send them an email and ask, what are the requirements? Are you accepting speakers, for your summit? Some of them, for the keynote speaker, Jen, they might want you to have a larger audience, but not for the breakout rooms. Not for the breakout rooms. And, think about, your woman, what you do serves people in multiple industries, right? So any type of health and wellness where people are hanging out that want to have better relationships, like that's so valuable. So they're there. It just might take a little bit of research, Googling, like, okay, where might be, some good places for me to speak. You could even, post on your Facebook and say, hey, do you know of any conferences for women that are coming up in 2025? You could go to Need a Guest, Find a Guest. You could also do retreats, right? So there's also people that put on retreats, and you could actually, be one of the guest experts in the retreat. You could also be a guest expert in somebody else's group program, paid program. So again, there's so many ways to get in front of them. It's just, let's pick the lightest lift first, right? And then we try it, and we're open for feedback, and we're like, okay, how did that work? Right? Some things like magazines are going to take a little bit longer for you to see the return on investment, right? Especially print, right? So workshops or, things that people are on where you can tag them or let people know that you've got it are going to happen a lot quicker. Okay. Podcasts, if you're doing your own podcast, that's going to take a little while before you actually build an audience. Okay. But if you're on somebody else's podcast and they have an audience, then it's going to be quicker. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So any other questions? Boy, we're like right on time. What would your 3 places be? Melissa, what's 3 places that you are thinking about sharing?
I need to change my profile
Okay.
banner
Yeah.
for sure on my business and my private page.
Great.
Share it to my Instagram handle after I create a link tree.
Amazing. Awesome. Easy peasy. Awesome. Love it. Cool. If you guys are on Facebook, please go ahead and type the 3 places or any questions. And if you guys are here with me live, don't ask for mine. I don't ask for mine. You don't ask for, oh, Jen doesn't ask for hers. So Jen, you and Jen get to meet with each other because Jen doesn't ask for a certain number of emails for her summits. Cool. Awesome. All right, ladies. So this is the last day. We did Prosperous Holistic Business for 5 days. The replays are still up. We did where to find paying clients. It's easy for me to say for 2 days, so that you now have some action steps to start implementing to build and grow your business. If you want more of my support personally, if you want my support to help you implement what it is that I taught over these last 9 days, I really want to hear from you. Book a call with me, a clarity call, and I will share with you multiple ways that I can work with you. Activate Abundance is my flagship offer. It's what I've been running for multiple years. It is a 12-month program, but if that doesn't speak to you and you want something different, let me hop on a call with you, because we've got multiple ways that I can support you. I work with people one-on-one. We also have shorter programs if you're just getting started. There's multiple ways that you can actually be supported and have access to both live calls and live coaching, in addition to getting your business up and running. And here's the one that I want to just kind of speak in around this idea of, being able to create money in your business if you don't even have money, right? Like, how am I investing in coaching if I'm not even bringing in consistent income, right? And that can bring up a lot of fear in your business. It can bring up a lot of fear around investing in your business. And fear is normal. I just want to say that, like, fear is normal. Whenever we make investments in anything, fear is going to be there. And it's actually something that we need to learn how to build emotional resilience for as we're being an entrepreneur, right? Because that honestly is never going to go away. It's how do we manage, and see, is there a return on investment that I can see down the road, right? Can I be resourceful to create the resources that I need? It's never about, do I have all of the money in the bank right now to pay for it? It's always about, if I'm a heart yes for this, if I know that I resonate with this method, if I know that I resonate with this coach, and this isn't just for me, by the way, this is for anybody or anything that anybody that you want to work with. Your first step is to ask yourself, is this something that I would actually want? If money was no object and I had it and I could just spend it, and is this something that I want? If it's a heart yes, then we start looking at, okay, great. What resources? How can I be resourceful? What would this look like? How could I create it? Okay. When we ask ourselves from that point of view, that is actually going to allow you to get the ideas of all the different ways that you actually could make money. And it doesn't have to just be in your business. So a ninja tip that I love to use with my clients, or my clients that are asking for support around how to create money, is write down 50 different ways that you can make money right now. And it doesn't have to be in your business. Some of it could be in your business, right? But there are other ways that you can create money, right? There's other things that you can do to be resourceful. If you absolutely, like, if your life depended on it, how would you actually come up with the money? If a family member's life depended on it, how would you come up with the money? And, I'm not saying that we would ever wish that on anybody, right? But what it does is it gets us out of our brain that says, I can't because, and give our power away to a circumstance, and instead shifts it into, oh, actually, I could do this, and 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 I could do this. And oh my gosh, like, wow, there's actually a lot of different ways that I could make money. And then you decide which is the one that you would need to action in order to create that resource. Right? So I just want to encourage you to lean in if support is something that you want. If you resonate with me and my method and you want to learn how to create consistent 10K to 30K months, Activate Abundance is the program for you. If you are just getting started, Holistic Business Foundations might be a better fit for you. Either way, let's hop on a call. I've got other options than those two so that I can hear where you are in your business and I can help you make an empowered decision about what is the best way to go. But the worst thing that you can do is continue to do the same thing that you're doing right now, because it's not working. If it was working, you'd be making the consistent 10 to 30K months. If you're not bringing consistent clients in and consistent cash in, I know that you're missing either a part of the attraction, part of the nurturing, or part of the invitation. There is something that's not working out of one of those places, because once we get all of those three, attract, nurture, and invite, working really well for you, you have consistent clients and you have consistent 10K to 30K months. Okay, so I would love to support you in Activate Abundance if that's something that you want. If you want one-on-one coaching with me, we do that there. We also have copywriters to help you speak the language of your ideal client, speak the chocolate. We have templates for you. We have done for you materials. And it's important that I give you done for you materials because I want to collapse the timeline, right? You have 100 rockstar emails in there. You have how to create 100, how to add 100 people to your email list in 30 days. You've got what to say in the DMs. You've got templates. You've got marketing materials. You've got so much in there that we've done for you so that you can actually focus on what it is that you want to do, which is change the world, right? We want to change lives. We want to make people happier and healthier. We don't really want to be creating, a 7 email nurture sequence if we don't have to. So we're going to give those to you for free. Okay, so all of that to say, last night at midnight was supposed to be the deadline, but we didn't change the pricing. So I will keep it up until today. So if you want to hop on either a call with me, if you're thinking about Activate, if you book the call with me before midnight, then I'll hold the discounted pricing for you. It is $4,000 off the initial investment, and we do have payment plans. Okay, so you can absolutely make payments if you want, but let's just hop on a call and I would love to support you and decide whether that or something else feels like a better fit for you. And if I can't support you, I promise I will give you to a colleague. Okay, so if you want to build and grow your business in a way that I feel like I can't support you, I will absolutely refer you to somebody that I know and I trust. So thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for participating. I am going to go back in and tally up all the names. So everybody who showed up live is in the running to win a VIP day with me that is worth $5,000. So every time you've showed up live, we've got a little check mark. We're going to put it all in a hat, and I will be doing the announcement inside the Facebook group tomorrow. So be on the lookout. All right, ladies, have a great evening, and I look forward to chatting soon.